Hello, I'm Giles, and I'm going to tell you today about malware, spyware, and hacking. First, has anyone ever found any files of theirs infected or seen pop-ups
Yes, sir.
that you don't know where they came from or know you've been hacked? Okay, well, the definition for malware is any software used to disrupt computer or mobile functions, steal sensitive information, or gain access to computer systems. The name is short for malicious software. I've got a video here about malware. Find it.
Hello everybody, this little template here, today I'm showing you how to delete tab files, cookies, and shadow files and to make your computer run a lot faster. So first off, 10%, 10%, you'll see it's something like this. And so once you get here, you'll see a lot of files probably. I couldn't find out sometimes. But yeah, so just click this. Scroll over all of them and just delete every single one. Because you're gonna probably have to delete. Click yes for like all of these. But yeah. And if you get something like this, just click skip. That probably means it's an error, not like it doesn't cost any space, so it's useless. But it's just for your protection. But yeah, so these are all the files that have been duplicated or are spyware. And then after that, open up the start menu and click Control Panel. Networking and delete browser mode, and then go to settings. And yeah, there's like nothing really here for me because I already deleted all my cookies, so just go ahead and delete all of them because they're all useless, just spyware. And yeah, I'm on a public computer, so yeah, a lot of things are going to, there's going to be a lot of cookies, but yes. If you guys are probably have a lot to. And yeah, that's about it. And once you're done doing all that, it'll probably be on one of these. It's called Disk Cleaner. Just search for it, but some list of computers don't have it, very few, so I cannot show you an exact tutorial on how to do it, but it's very easy. So thanks guys for watching. Subscribe, check out my other videos, see you later.
That was actually a different video than was on this slide, but we'll get to it in a minute.
Welcome.
Okay, we've got a problem here. I think I can fix it.
surprise you to learn that millions of computers in the US are infected with malware? That's a lot of computers. So, what's malware and why should you care? Malware, short for malicious software, includes viruses and spyware that get installed on your computer or mobile device without you knowing it. Criminals use malware to steal personal information and commit fraud. For example, they may use malware to steal the login information for your online accounts, or to hijack your computer and use it to send spam. An infected computer can lead to serious problems like identity theft. The good news? There's a lot you can do to protect yourself and your computer. One of the most important steps you can take: install security software from a reliable company and set it to update automatically. The bad guys constantly develop new ways to attack your computer, so your software must be up to date to work. Set your operating system and your web browser to update automatically too. If you're not sure how, use the help function and search for automatic updates. Don't buy security software in response to unexpected calls or messages, especially if they say they scanned your computer and found malware. Scammers send messages like these to trick you into buying worthless software, or worse, downloading malware. What else can you do? Use a pop-up blocker, and don't click on links and pop-ups. Don't click on links or open attachments in emails, unless you know what they are, even if the emails seem to be from friends or family. Download software only from websites you know and trust. Free stuff may sound appealing, but free downloads can hide malware. Make sure your web browser's security setting is high enough to detect unauthorized downloads. For example, use at least the medium security setting. Even if you take precautions, malware can find its way onto your computer. So be on the lookout for these signs. Your computer runs slowly, drains its battery quickly, displays unexpected errors or crashes. It won't shut down or restart. It serves a lot of pop-ups, takes you to web pages you didn't visit, changes your homepage, or creates new icons or toolbars without your permission. If you suspect malware, stop doing things that require passwords or personal info, such as online shopping or banking. Use a different computer, maybe one at work or at your local library, to change your passwords. Update your security software and run a system scan. Delete files it flags as malware. If you can't fix the problem on your own, get help from a professional. Your computer manufacturer or internet service provider may offer free tech support. If not, contact a company or retail store that provides tech support. Keep in mind, the most important thing you can do to prevent malware is to keep your computer software up to date. And remember, it's easy to find trusted information about computer security. Just visit onguardonline.gov, the federal government site, to help you stay safe, secure, and responsible online.
I've got another video here about how to remove malware.
Would it surprise you to learn that millions of computers
This is Mr. King. Mom doesn't know we have him, so we're using flashback.
Have you ever gotten a malware or a virus that takes over your system and won't let you click or open anything? So popular ones these days are the fake antivirus that tell you they found multiple infections and want you to buy their product for them to clean your system. That is malware, a piece of intrusive and unwanted program that affects your computer. Those are particularly persistent and hard to remove. Here are some simple steps that will help you remove such malware or viruses. It will work for the most common ones. The first step is to turn off your system. If the the start and shut down way does not work, do a hard reset. Hold the power button on your computer until it shuts down. We now need to restart the system without letting the malware start. To do that, we need to boot into safe mode. To achieve this, we need to hit the F8 key found at the top of your keyboard just before Windows will try to boot. When a computer starts, its first step is to post. Do a power on self-test. The computer is looking for all the available hardware, the physical parts, in the computer that it can use. Usually during that time, we see some type of white writing on the black screen. After the computer posts, it looks on the hard drive for an operating system, in our case, Windows 7. We want to hit the F8 key at that time and hit it multiple times to make sure it registers. If you've succeeded, the screen will look like this. If you miss it, Windows will load and you will have to restart the system again. When you've succeeded to get the recovery mode screen, select the option Save Mode with Networking using the arrow keys and press Enter. Now Windows will load the minimum drivers so that it can start. This means that 99% of the time, the virus or malware will not load. You will notice the screen resolution is poor because we are using the most basic drivers. Once Windows is done loading, at the top you will notice it says Safe Mode, so we are good to go. Check to make sure you are connected to the internet and open a browser window. Go to google.com and search for Malwarebytes. We will open the link to their site. Click on Products and choose to download the free version. This is a very good anti-malware program, kept up to date often and has never failed me so far. Once the download is completed, open the file and follow up the on-screen instructions to install. They are very straightforward. Once installed, open the program and let it update its database to the newest version. Once you get to the main screen, choose Perform a quick scan and click on Scan. This scan could take a while depending on how powerful your computer is and how many files it has to scan. When it finds an infected item, it will appear next to Objects Detected. Once the scan is done, follow the on-screen instructions to remove the malware that was found. The button will be located here. This process should have eliminated the malware or virus, or at the very least, severely crippled it. We can now shut down the computer and restart it normally. We are now back into Windows, and the malware hasn't loaded. Great! We now need to run an antivirus scan. You can use your own, or if you don't have one, I recommend using Microsoft Security Essentials. It is fairly powerful, kept updated, and best of all, it's free. If you want to download it, make sure to check which version of Windows you are running. If you are not sure, click Start, right-click Computer, and choose Properties. We can see which version we have next to System Type. Choose the correct version and download it. Once the download is done, follow the on-screen instructions to install it. Once installed, choose Quick Scan and Scan Now. Once the scan is over, it is a good idea to go back into Malwarebytes anti-malware and run a full scan just to be safe. You can go grab a bite at this point, it will take a while. Once this is all done and scans come back clean, congratulations, you've successfully cleaned your computer yourself. Just make sure you figure out how you got infected in the first place and try to avoid doing it again. If the malware or virus is still there, it might be a good idea to shut down your computer and bring it to a computer professional for professional cleaning. Malwarebytes has a paid version, which I find very good and useful, that protects your system in real time, meaning you don't have to run scans to see if there are infected files in your system. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel if you liked our video, and stop by our website to read more articles.
Okay, here's the types of malware that I found. There's viruses that conceal themselves and produce copies of themselves on their computer. They're Trojans, any software that misrepresents itself to convince you to install it. They usually don't replicate themselves, but carry something on them to spread all over your computer and possibly all over the internet. Rootkits, software that conceals other malware and can even flash itself on the firmware. Backdoors, a method of bypassing normal procedures, usually through the internet or network. Worms, infected software that exploits security holes and replicates without any human intervention at all. Grayware, unwanted applications or files that worsen performance and may cause security risks. Ransomware, a kind of malware that holds your computer hostage until you pay money. And adware, basically software that fills your computer up with advertisements. These are the 8 most famous viruses. CryptoBlocker was a ransomware virus in 2013 that took $30 million in 100 days. The I Love You virus, an email virus in 2000 that overwrote files. It did $15 billion worth of damage. MyDoom, an email virus in 2004 that caused denial of service attacks, flooding computers with spam and other garbage. It did $38 billion worth of damage. Stormworm was a Trojan horse that infected computers in 2006, turning them into zombies or bots. And the amount of damage it did was never known. Sasser and Netsky, that were actually created by the same person, was an attempt to outdo MyDoom and did $31 billion worth of damage. Email attachment virus called Anna Kournikova was basically just a joke because a lot of people were looking up this tennis star at the time. So this person thought they'd just do a prank and put this out on the web, and it did $166,000 worth of damage. And Slammer, a virus that spread fast enough to crash the internet in 15 minutes because it replicated at a phenomenal speed. And Stuxnet was actually a virus built by the U.S. government to sabotage the uranium centrifuges in Iran to prevent them from building nuclear weapons. Spyware is any program aimed at gathering information or an organization without anybody knowing it. It either sends information without consent or takes control of a computer without being detected. Here's a video of how to tell if it's on your phone.
Hi everybody, Hayden Ford here with AskHayden.com. One of the topics we've been getting a lot of emails on is how can I tell if my cell phone or BlackBerry has spyware on it? Unfortunately, we have not been able to locate any good software applications that can tell you if your phone or your iPhone or your BlackBerry has spyware on it. But there are a few things that you can do as a consumer all on your own without the need of any software. to be able to tell if your BlackBerry has spyware on it. One of the first things that you want to look for if you're suspecting that somebody maybe has installed spyware on your BlackBerry is one of the simplest ways to tell is the screen itself. If your phone is sitting there and resting, sitting on your desk, sitting on your table, and nothing is going on, you haven't touched the handset, the phone is not ringing, and suddenly the screen comes on, this may be a good indication that your phone has spyware on it. Typically phones with spyware, this is not going to be an isolated incident. Throughout the day, you're going to constantly notice that the screen on your BlackBerry is popping on. Now, you won't actually see somebody going through and actually going through the phone like a remote user using something like PC Anywhere, but what will happen typically with most BlackBerries is the screen itself will light up as the spyware becomes active and is sending over its data. Another thing that you can look out for is in the upper left-hand corner where your bars are. If you suddenly notice quite a bit of activity on the arrows going back and forth, this may be a pretty solid indication that the spyware is sending data back and forth from the handset to the spyware server. Another great way to tell, not using the handset, but using your actual phone bill and contacting your service provider, is through your SMS messages. If you typically say send 500 text messages a month, and suddenly you're jumping up to 1,000 text messages, that could be a solid indication that you have spyware on your phone. What's happening there is as you send a text message out to your company, out to your spouse, or to your friends, the spyware oftentimes is duplicating that text message and sending it out to their servers. So you will see a pretty significant increase in the amount of SMS and MMS messages coming from your BlackBerry out to the server. So if you get your statement and you're noticing a lot of what appears to be rogue text messages coming from your phone, maybe a good chance to get your phone in there and have a look at it. One thing I've always recommended is strongly suspect spyware on your phone, taking it to your cell phone carrier, having them wipe out the handset completely, and reinstall everything, and just getting a fresh start. Hope that helps. You can send any questions that you may have to askaden.com. That's www.askaden.com. I'm Aiden Ford, and we'll speak with you soon. Thanks.
I think we already saw this video, so I'll move on. The 10 most common spyware programs. One is Gator, password vault, but it makes pop-ups. Cool Web Search is a notorious browser hijacker that sends you to coolwebsearch.com or datanotary.com. 108 is Search Assistant. It adds pop-ups or pops up website windows. Hunt Bar installs a toolbar onto Internet Explorer, and it changes your settings to point to their servers. Sidedoor, this comes with peer-to-peer software and fills your computer with pop-up ads. IST Bar installs ActiveX and JavaScript and installs a toolbar that sends information to myinternet.info and blazefind.com. When You Desktop Bar displays advertising, monitors internet traffic, collects search profiles, and can execute code from a remote server. New.net is a company that sells domain names. IE Plugin installs a toolbar, tracks your website usage, form items, and local file names. Bargain Buddy sets up a browser helper object and monitors your computer usage, then pushes ads your way based on your usage. Now let's move on to hacking. It's the act of breaking into computer systems and networks with bugs and exploits, sometimes for malicious intents. There's three kinds of hackers. Black hats, they have malicious intent. They're usually in it for a personal gain and are often criminals, possibly even with organized crime. White hats are hackers that try to debug or fix problems. And then there's gray hats that are morally ambiguous hackers that basically hack for fun. They usually do things like pranks or troll. Here I have the 10 most famous hackers. First is Kevin Mitnick, most wanted computer criminal in United States history. He hacked into some of the world's top telecommunications companies. Kevin Poulsen, that hacked a radio station, reactivated old telephone numbers for a virtual escort service, and even appeared on Unsolved Mysteries on the TV. And while that show was on the TV talking about him, their 1-800 number crashed mysteriously. So you can theorize that he hacked into it and shut it down. Adrian Lamo, the homeless hacker, used coffee shops, libraries, and internet cafes and broke into computer networks and reported their vulnerabilities to the companies that owned the sites. I guess that makes him a white hat. Stephen Wozniak is the co-founder of Apple. He started his hacking career building devices for his friends to make free long-distance calls, and allegedly used one such device to call the Pope. Lloyd Blankenship is known as the Mentor. He was a member of the Legion of Doom back in the 80s and wrote the Hacker Manifesto after he was arrested. Michael Kaus in 2000 launched denial of service attacks across 52 networks, affecting eBay, Amazon, and Yahoo. Robert Tappan Morris is the first person to be convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. And 8 is the Masters of Deception. It was a New York-based group of hackers in the 80s that targeted U.S. phone systems. They were actually a splinter group broken off of the Legion of Doom. David L. Smith was the author of the notorious Melissa worm virus and caused over $80 million worth of damage. Sven Jaskin wrote the Netsky and Sasser worms in 2004, accounting for 70% of all malware on the internet at the time. The definition of crackers is black hats who hack computers and networks specifically to gain a profit by selling fixes and exploits. Some of these are actually linked to organized crime. And here's my credits page. I got all my information from Wikipedia, Google, Telegraph, Norton UK blog, streetdirectory.com, and YouTube. That's all I've got.